Hi, I'm Karen.
And I'm Travis.
And this is the Crazy Lazy Morning Show.
The show that makes you wonder why. Alright, Karen, today we're going to have a show about hoaxes. Or no, we're going to make a little game. Okay, I'm going to read you some little interesting tidbits here and there. And
Okay.
you have to guess if it's a hoax or not. Are you ready?
If it's a hoax or not. Okay, yeah.
You ready? Okay. First one. When Russia's Bolsheviks revolted in the early 20th century, they rounded up the Tsar, the king of, or emperor of Russia, whichever they have, and his family and shot them all execution style. Anastasia was 17. For years following the slayings, people whispered Anastasia had escaped. Some had said her brother Alexei had survived as well. Then women began emerging in various spots around the globe, all claiming to be Anastasia. One woman was Anna Anderson, fought for 32 years, from 1938 to 1970, to be legally recognized as the heir of Romanov throne. Is this a hoax, or is this real?
I don't know. I'm gonna take a stab because I don't really know which way to go. Real.
Real? False. It was a hoax. In 1991, a grave in Yekaterinburg was discovered that held 9 bodies, including members of the Romanov family and their servants, but the bones of Alexei and one daughter was missing. Could it be that Anderson or another one of those female claimants really was Anastasia? Nope. In 2007, another grave was discovered near the Yekaterinburg one. And guess what? It contained the bones of 2 Romanov youngsters, a boy and a girl. How do you feel about that? That you didn't even get your first one?
No big deal. I kind of knew that you would probably pick stuff that I did not know.
Okay, well, you believe that you're a World War II, enthusiast.
Well, yes, but I haven't studied up on it in a while. But yes, like I used to read like any World War II book that I could come across.
Okay, well, in 1983, Der Stern, a German news weekly politician, claimed one of his investigative reporters, Gerd Heidemann, had stumbled upon a set of secret diaries penned by none other than Adolf Hitler. The precious manuscripts had apparently been stashed away for decades by a Dr. Fischer after they were discovered near a Dresden area plane crash in 1945. Before Dr. Stern published this bombshell, it did subject the diaries to 3 separate handwriting tests for authentication, and the tests had come back positive, but the magazine didn't conclude any other tests, probably because they were so anxious to publish such a major scoop and to profit from it by selling reprints rights to the other publications.
Oh, I want this one to be true.
You want this
That
to
would
be
be
true?
really cool.
False. When the news broke, German World War II expert and skeptics
This is what I get for not studying in a while.
Poured over the diaries. West Germany's Federal Archives also ran scientific tests on them. Dr. Stern had been tricked. The researchers found numerous historical inaccuracies in the documents, while the Federal Archive test proved they were created with modern-day paper and ink. Konrad Kujau, an infamous Stuttgart forger, was revealed as the hoaxer. Heidemann was somehow in on it, too, although no one knows the exact arrangement between the two, but both profited from the estimated $4 to $6 million Der Stern had forked over for the diaries. Kujau, his wife, and Heidemann ended up in a clink for forgery and embezzlement.
That's actually pretty interesting.
Yeah. Okay. That is really interesting, man. $4 to $6 million. Wow. Well,
see, the more I learn, at least you're teaching me more about this stuff.
I know, right?
Exactly,
and you guys are learning too. Back in 1849, in a little town called Charlotte, Vermont, a railroad was being built to connect the little town to the capital city of Burlington. During the digging process, road crews were used to finding old arrowheads and spears, but what they found next simply astounded them. Upon digging in a remote hillside, and he's starting to get really creepily.
Trying to remember everything you say.
A large skull emerged. At first, they thought it was the remains of a horse, but as they continued digging and more of the skeleton appeared, they realized this was no horse. This was no horse, as no legs were to be found. After the skeleton was fully unearthed, it measured nearly 20 feet long and seemed to resemble a large sea creature. No one, however, could figure out how this animal would wound up in this remote area, some 250 miles from the nearest ocean. True or false?
I'm gonna say false, since everything apparently is false up to this point.
It's true.
What? No!
After examining the skeleton, geologists got their theory. The creature, who came to be known as Charlotte, was actually an 11,000-year-old white whale who swam into shallow water and eventually died under the outlet of a river. As the body became covered in silt, it remained protected from scavengers and thusly was left to decompose slowly, which in turn left the bones to remain completely intact. As this was occurring, the Ice Age was slowly retreating from Vermont, and the phenomenon known as a glacial rebound was occurring, where formerly glaciated land springs back after the weight of the ice is removed, and that is how Charlotte the whale came to be found under the train tracks of the sleepy little town in Vermont. Okay. I really hope you get this next one.
Why? Because I should know this one?
No, it's just because it might be a little bit obvious. Okay.
It might be a little bit obvious.
Just listen.
Is that what you thought about the past three?
No, I knew those were complicated. Okay, one of the most amazing and gross hoaxes of all time took place in England in 1726. That's when Mary Toth, a servant from Godalming in Surrey, went into labor and delivered some animal parts. Local obstetrician John Howard was called in, and for the next month he helped deliver a rabbit's head, the legs of a cat, and 9 dead baby rabbits, the latter all in one day. Soon everyone from Swiss surgeon anatomist, I can't even say that word, anatomist, to the Prince of Wales secretary visited Tuft, who had become local celebrity, to witness the unbelievable births, and unbelievable they deemed them to be. After examining one of the... Okay. True or false?
I would say false, because I don't see a woman giving birth to animal parts.
It is false.
Okay, thank goodness.
You got 1 out of 7. After examining one of the rabbits, a German surgeon found corn, hay, and straw in its dung, providing it couldn't have developed inside Tuft. Others reached the same conclusion after studying the bunny's lungs and other organs. A porter was then caught trying to smuggle the rabbits into Tuft's room. Eventually, Tuft confessed she'd been inserting the rabbits and other animal parts into and then letting the various physicians deliver them.
Ew.
Tuft was poor, and in the 18th century, people eagerly paid money to see human oddities and deformities. Well, you got 1. Okay, next one.
That's so gross. Like,
yeah, I know.
Why would you do that?
Because she was poor, and she needed the money. She actually got a lot of money. She became a local celebrity.
Yeah, a local celebrity of someone who
Don't try that at home.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. The Perry-Rees map was discovered serendipitously in October 9th, 1929 through the philological work of German theologian Gustav Adolf Diesmann, who had been commissioned by the Turkish Ministry of Education to catalog the Topkapi Palace Library's non-Islamic items. The discovery caused an international sensation as it represented the only then known copy of the world map of Christopher Columbus, 1451 to 1506, and it was the 16th century map that showed the South American in its proper longitudinal position in relation to Africa. Its creator, Perry-Rees, was one of the most important cartographers in his era and one of the most famous admirals of the Ottoman maritime history. True or false?
I would say that one's a little bit more believable.
That is true.
Ah, right on. Two.
You're bouncing back. Some analyses assert that the map is an azimuthal man, big words. My one weakness. Azimuthal equidistant projection centered on Cairo, but in 1998 analysis of by Stephen Dutch of the University of Wisconsin Green Bay shows a better fit with a point near the intersection of the present-day prime meridian and the equator. There are extensive notes in Turkish around the edges of the map, as well as some interior detail which is most inaccurate and fanciful.
I'm sorry if you can hear our child in the background. He went down for a nap not too long ago, and he's
so you got two, right? You got two. You have two more.
I have two more?
Yeah.
How many did you do today?
7. Okay, so this one, the Baghdad Battery is the common name for the number of artifacts created in Mesopotamia during the early centuries AD of Persian Empire period, and were probably discovered between 1936 and 1938 in the village of more foreign words. Oh my god. Kuhuyot Rabu near Baghdad, Iraq. The vessels showed signs of corrosion, and early tests revealed that an acidic agent such as vinegar or wine had been present. In 1940, the German director of the National Museum of Iraq published a paper speculating that it may have been galvanic cells, perhaps used for electroplating gold onto silver objects. This interpretation is far from receiving widespread acceptance, but it continues to be considered as at least a hypothetical possibility by some scientists and believers of extraterrestrial visitation and advocates of, oh my god, big word, pseudo-archaeology theories.
I don't often see him get stumped by big words, by the way.
It's because I'm tired. I was up late doing this, or writing the show out, so I am
get
very
up today.
tired. 4 hours of sleep. Not used to that. Okay, so is this false or is this true?
You know, it talks a lot about extraterrestrial, which I'm super into, by the way. We both are. And I can see it being true, actually, just because of the fact that there's so much on the extraterrestrial.
That's just one part of it.
I know.
That's just like a little tiny part.
I understand that, but...
believers. But it is true.
Yeah, that's...
Commonly thought that the objects might date to the Parthenian period between 2050 BC and AD 224. However, according to St. John Simpson of the Near Eastern Department of the British Museum, their original excavation and context were not recorded well, so evidence for this date range is very weak. Okay, so you got 3 out of 7. You gotta get this last one in order to
win.
Be named the Trivia Queen.
Do I get a crown after? Did you make me a cute little crown?
You obviously know I didn't. You obviously know.
You were up until 5 a.m. You could have made me a tiara.
Alright, so... Workers digging a well on the property discovered a snowman, and people all over the world quickly enthralled. Was it an ancient carving or a fossilized giant? If it was the latter, some said it was proof that the Bible is literally true. By the way, this was like 20 feet tall. Or no, 10 feet tall, sorry. For Genesis 6:4 says, there were giants on the earth in those days. Experts Yeah.
Oh, that's it?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have heard about this before because, I did grow up in a pretty religious home. But it was never told to me whether it was true or false. I can see my family saying it's true, just to...
Well, is it true or is it false?
I'm going to say this one's false.
It is false.
Yes.
Experts smelled a rat and tried to warn people not to get too excited, but it was too late. People flocked to the remote farm site, hundreds and even thousands per day, paying 50 cents a head, a whole lot of money in those days, to see Goliath. Even more amusing, P.T. Barnum quickly created a duplicate which people paid to see, thinking it was the original, so they were double duped. In 1868, the atheist George Hall hired a stonecutter to carve a slab of gypsum into a 10-foot tall man with a 21-inch long feet. Wow. 21 inches. I'm 13 inches on my feet. He then had it buried on his farm of distant relative William Newell of Cardiff, New York. Hall created the behemoth as a practical joke and also to make those who believed in a literal interpretation of the Bible look foolish. He confessed after an associate sued Barnum for claiming Barnum's giant was the original one. The fake fossil is still around for viewing at the Farmers Museum in Cooperstown, New York. So, you're the trivia queen today, for one. You know.
Dude, were you about to say for once?
Yeah.
We have never even done a trivia before, and for once, I'm the trivia queen. How do I feel about that? I'm not even sure.
You're not even sure.
I should have a tiara right now. Not invisible. It looks so big.
Now do you want a tiara?
Maybe if you made a really pretty one. Not a finger tiara.
Well, I didn't make one. Because, well, I just got up. I'm tired. I did my show.
Well, that was pretty fun for me.
And, you know, yeah, the stuff that I found out was actually, like, really interesting, you know? Like,
The thing about this show is it's really awesome because we get to learn stuff as we do the show, too, so...
And you guys get to learn stuff, too, like...
Exactly.
You get to see funny stuff, people make fools of themselves sometimes. Yeah. And, you know, we enjoy making these videos. Even though I do all the editing, and she is just a co-host. And the idea, you know, whatever.
We have fun. That's
I write
the
most of
main
the
point of
episodes.
this, is we have fun.
We have fun, yeah.
We both put in work on different episodes, though, so...
We did one episode so far. Alright. Shall we wrap it up?
Okay, well, thank you for watching. This has been really fun for us today.
Yeah, it's been fun. And, like, subscribe, and comment below.
Okay, well, bye.
Bye.